Unmute the microphone. Hello, good evening everyone.
Hello.
Welcome to another West UK Weekly. Just say hi everyone, just confirm that you can hear us. The microphone is on and it is unmuted, so we should have audio this week for the first time ever, straight off the bat. Still waiting for a few people just to come online, give everyone a chance to get their notifications and work out that we're here. Can you hear us alright, Susan? All the audio okay?
Hi, Susan.
Just give everyone a few minutes to come online. So it's Wednesday evening, 8 o'clock, and I'd like to welcome you all back to another West UK Weekly, which subsequently happens every week. 8 o'clock, we're live on YouTube. And, yeah, audio, evening, fantastic. So you see the delay that we get there between asking. There's normally a 10-second delay between saying something and people hearing it and their thumbs start working.
Right.
Yep, I hear and see you. Awesome. Wendy Chamberlain. Welcome, Wendy.
Hi, Wendy.
Nice to have you along. Thanks for joining us. So, welcome to another West UK Weekly. It's a business, IT and website show every week for anyone who's running a business or thinks about running a business or wants to. This week, I'm extremely fortunate to have what I would call a celebrity.
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
It's a bit of a celebrity in the office. I'm sure a lot of you hold the armed forces dear to your hearts, and for a lot of you it has a lot of meaning. And this week I was very kindly joined by a chap called Gareth Welsh. He couldn't make it, so he sent his brother instead.
Yeah.
Here we see, good. Is Peter not joining us this evening? Pete the photographer? Where are you, Pete? Get off your backside and get on YouTube. So this evening our show is quite a unique show tonight, because I know for the whole of January we've been talking about starting a business and all the different pitfalls and ups and downs of starting a business. And Robin's been very kind to help us out with some of the things businesses should put in place when they start a business. However, there is also another aspect to starting a business which probably no one has maybe thought about, is that our armed forces, the people who serve in the armed forces, they don't serve forever, not all of them.
No.
Nowadays especially, people in the armed forces, the contracts now, going back to when I was a kid and my stepdad was in the armed forces, back then you could join up and you had a job for life. Nowadays it's sort of 3 to 5 years and you're done.
More or less.
Thank you very much. Sweep you under the carpet and move
off,
along.
And off you go. Yeah.
I think he's away. Pete Brasser's away. Oh no, Hayley Borello. Hi Hayley.
Hi,
wonderful
Hayley.
to have you on. It's nice to see some new names and faces coming along. Awesome. Johan's back as well. I hear you loud and clear. Thanks for coming back, Johan. Glad to see I haven't bored you to death yet. So going back to the armed forces, one of the things that no one really thinks about is when people leave the armed forces, what do? Because a lot of the stuff we see and hear in the media would have you believe that people who've left the armed forces are often just sort of swept under the rug and thank you very much, off you go and be on your way.
More or less. Yeah. That's the kind of thing. That's the kind of thing more or less that happened to me. You've done all them years of service, and it was literally. There's a handshake. Thanks very much. We'll see you later.
Thanks for coming.
Good,
Enjoy.
Yeah.
Off you go.
Kind of like good luck in Civvy Street.
It's almost like a party at your neighbour's house. Thanks for coming. Love to have you here, and see you later.
Yeah. Along them lines. Yeah. And it's a massive transformation, as you can imagine. So I joined as a school leaver at 16, and coming.
So that was just a few years ago, right?
Exactly, as you can see, still a young
whatever
lad.
He's doing, he's in the wrong career. He should be bottling and selling whatever he's doing.
Diet Cokes. That's it.
Yeah, we've seen the Diet Coke advert.
Yes.
What's her name? Sharon at Desk Team.
Sharon at Desk Team. Yes.
Yeah, we've seen the advert. Cheeky.
Can make millions from that.
I know, right?
Yeah. So yeah, it's a really horrible process coming out of the armed forces, because you've gone in there at a young age, they've bedded you into a man very rapidly and very quickly, and going into Civvy Street from that, it's like whoa,
it's a big transition, right?
Yeah, this is life, this is like how everyone conducts themselves. We call them civilians.
Yeah,
and
Civvy Street, as it were.
Yeah, Civvy Street, yeah. And going into business, and you walk into a business, you walk into a job, and you're like, wow, this is what actually happens. And
It's a very different world, isn't it?
Yeah, and you kind of start like trusting everyone, you know, because you've had that trust, you've had that belonging, you know, and you believe that that's the process.
Yeah. We'll come on to that as well.
Yeah,
shortly.
definitely. Yeah, sure.
So, in case, and for any of you watching, if you can see this little number here beside me, that says 115. That's our number of subscribers at the moment. If we can get that number to 1,000, with your help, obviously, we can start taking super chats and monetizing videos, and start generating some serious cash for the Diagramma Foundation.
Yeah.
And if I just show you who they are real quick, if you haven't seen the diagram, apologies for anyone who has. I'll keep this real quick and fast. So this is the Diagramma Foundation. They're a local charity, and they do some wonderful work for adults who need foster care in the community, who have trouble looking after themselves. So if you can help us get that number up to 1,000, awesome. If you're watching without subscribing, shame on you. You should subscribe to that. So that's pretty much one of the aims of the show. So help us get that number to 1,000, and we'll be well on our way to making some money for some charities. So like Gareth and I have been saying, today's subject is people who are in the armed forces and about to leave, or people who have left the armed forces and are wondering what the hell to do with themselves, and how to go about, if they want to start a business for themselves, how do they go about it? And what I'm hoping today that Gareth can help me get the message across in a more accurate and probably a much more real way is what it's like as an experience to go from being a member of the armed forces to coming out to Civvy Street, and what that transition period's like, how much help you had and how much you had to find on your own. Gareth's calmed down a lot, by the way, in the last 30 seconds.
Oh, yeah, well...
Right before I switched the camera on, he was jumping up and down, doing 500 push-ups.
You made me a nice cup of coffee, you see.
He was sitting there going, oh, we're 30 seconds away from live.
30 seconds away, yes,
As soon as the camera came in, uh-oh, we're live. So it's his first time on camera, so I hope you'll all make him feel very welcome as well. He's a wonderful guy to have around. He's an incredible hard worker, and everything he does, he does it with the sort of professionalism that you would kind of hope the whole world would operate by.
You would think.
You'd hope, yeah.
You would hope, yeah.
So what I'd like to do basically is, if we can start out by getting a picture of, because there's a lot of people out there probably still in the armed forces now, or who've come out, that think they might be watching this thinking, yeah, but he's someone special. I'm not that special. I'm not that guy.
Yeah.
So what I'd like to start with, if it's okay with you, is if we can tell people a little bit more about you and your experiences, give them something they can relate to say, well, actually, you know what? He actually sounds just like me. Yeah. He's not someone, not to dumb you down. He's not someone special. I'm just like him. And what he's achieved, I can achieve, because I think, and this is one of the things we're going to be talking about next week as well when we cover imposter syndrome, is that a lot of people tend to think that those who are being successful are special people. When they're not. They're just average people doing things right. So why don't we start first of all with, if you give us a little bit of a background of your army service, and what you were doing in the army.
So I was, I joined the Household Cavalry originally, which means, on ceremonial duties, on Knightsbridge, on horseback.
Are they the people with the really big hats?
Not the big black hats, they're the small armour ones on the horse with the sword.
Ah, gotcha.
Yes.
Way more special looking.
Well, looking shiny and that. and then halfway through that phase 2 training, I decided, I've had enough of horses.
How long were you in the cavalry for?
So I was in the cavalry, so I'd done my training with the cavalry, so for phase 1 and phase 2, and then it was approximately about 4 or 5 months-ish.
Okay.
In ceremonial, and then I decided, well, the horses wasn't really for me. I was a young lad, couldn't get a grips of it. So they transferred me into the 1st Battalion, the Coldstream Guards. So I was still based in Victoria Barracks and Windsor and stuff like that, which was the bearskins and tunics, as you said.
Is that more of a ceremonial sort of showy-off kind of role?
It is. We're infantry soldiers. So that's our role, that's our army role, but we had that as just a ceremonial because it's the Queen's Division.
So you've all the same training as the rest of the army,
plus
that ceremonial stuff on top.
Yeah, exactly the same, you just have that ceremonial duty on top. So yeah, and then we went to Northern Ireland. We done 2 tours in Northern Ireland.
Wow.
And then
how long was you in Northern Ireland for? If you don't mind?
so we done a year's tour over there, and then we done a 6-month tour over there. And then we came back and we conducted ceremonial again, chooping the colour. And then after that we went to pre-rack training. So we got flown over to Canada, and we done 6 weeks of rack training, solid out there.
Wow.
Came back, had 2 weeks leave.
Apologies for jumping in.
Yeah.
Susan's going to kill me for this. Cause, Susan
Did you get told off?
Well, she gave me some wonderful feedback, and
right.
on the subject of last week's show, when we were before when we were talking about feedback, Susan was very kind to give me some nice feedback and say, "Hey, look, stop jumping all over your guests while they're talking."
Richard,
it is a terrible habit.
Terrible.
I know.
Yes. I'm going to tell you off now when you do it.
But there's so many wonderful points up that I'm just desperate to cram in.
Right, yeah.
It's like my brain's just going, oh, hold on a minute, that's really good. Can we zoom in on that a little bit?
Yeah.
How does Canada, because Canada's either freezing cold
or red hot. Yeah.
And so do they send you to Canada in the summer to sort of get you ready for Iraq?
Yeah, so it was in the peak time of summer over there. And it's just constant training. You're constant training.
Is that 7 days a week, like non-stop?
Literally, yeah. Because obviously, when you go into a war zone, there's no rest.
There's no day off, right?
There's no R&R. You know, you literally could come back into camp, and then literally you're getting, you call it QRF, quick reaction force. You're back out again. Anything could happen, and you have to reinforce straight away.
So you're literally like you're mentally on edge the whole time.
Yeah, you're switched on constantly.
There's no off time.
No. And when we went across there, it wasn't like now. It's a lot better equipment, and they've advanced in technology and stuff. When we went out there, it was, our boots were melting. My weapon, my SA-80 was keep on jamming.
I'm familiar with those actually.
Yeah.
Because I'm an instructor with the Air Cadets, and
right.
a lot of the stuff we do is we teach cadets to fly with the L98, A1 and A2.
Yeah.
It's very similar to the SA-80.
SA, yeah. So it was just literally like hard work. It was hard graft. You had to switch on then. So yeah, it was a lot of problems out there. Seen a lot of action, and then after that.
So you were in Canada for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And then did you go to Iraq after that?
More or less, yeah. We came back to the UK. We had 2 weeks leave.
Okay.
And then we got deployed.
Just long enough to let all your family remember what you look like.
Well, this is it. Take a nice picture of me, because this is what happened.
Plenty of selfies.
Yeah,
And then you went off to Iraq after that.
Yeah, we went off to Iraq after that.
Wow.
That was it.
Christ.
You do 6 months out there. We've done 6 months here.
6 months.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
Non-stop.
Your family.
You get 5 days R&R leave, and you come back to the UK.
Okay.
And then that's it.
I'd imagine there's nowhere really out there where you could go for 5 days leave, is there?
No.
This is no safe place to be.
Nah, not really. No.
So when you were out in Iraq, what sort of things were you? So you were out there for 6 months, right?
Yeah.
So what sort of stuff was you doing out in Iraq for 6
So
months?
we were like a reconnaissance unit, and we would gather information on enemy, gather information on where the Taliban is, all that kind of stuff, really. And we were given the information back to the intelligence corps.
Okay.
And then they were sending special forces in, or other units of Royal Air Force in.
The recon stuff's one of the hardest parts, right?
Yeah.
It's you're the first feet on the ground.
Literally, yeah, and it's very very on the go. You know what I mean?
It's quite frightening and all, because you're the first feet on the ground, things can go wrong quite easily.
And you just got to be initiative, just purely switched on.
Yeah. Everyone who follows behind you, they're just following your footsteps, right?
More or less, yeah.
Not to dumb that down, but it's still just
more or less,
still just bloody dangerous.
And at some stages, you're in the middle of a firefight, you've got RPGs coming over your head, and you're in the sandstorm's coming in, your weapon's blocked, and you're like, wow.
Now what?
That fear factor just comes in straight away, and you're like, I'm going to die, yeah.
You've really got to think on your feet.
Yeah.
And, did you have many? And I don't mean this to get too dramatic, by the way.
Yeah.
If at any time I ask any questions that make you feel like, I'd rather not talk about it.
Yeah, that's fine.
But I mean, just say, shut the hell up, Rich. I don't want to talk about it.
I don't mind. Yeah, it's nice to talk about it, actually.
Yeah. Some people find it quite therapeutic.
Yeah.
And this is why I'm sort of diving into it a bit, because I'm hoping that for anybody who may eventually watch this, I don't expect anyone who's currently serving to be able to see this live.
No.
They probably don't have very good internet access out there. And, But anyone who may eventually see this can actually relate to Gareth's story and relate to actually what he's doing. Oh yeah, I've done that, and that's the sort of thing we do. So you can actually see that, you know, although I've called him a celebrity in his own right, he's your average Joe.
Yeah.
Like the rest of us.
Yeah,
We're all like each other, you know.
I was just an average soldier in an average regiment.
Doing a freaking dangerous job.
Well, yeah, but no.
Not an average job, definitely.
No, I'm just the average civilian.
Yeah,
you know?
doing something way not average.
Yeah.
So once you were doing, I mean, that's quite a very dangerous role to do.
Yeah.
So, you know, being the sort of the first eyes on the ground, as it were.
Yeah.
So when you came back from Iraq, how long were you in the army for then? Were you still in, or did they say thanks for Iraq and off you go?
Yeah, we were still in. I was still in, yeah. And you know, we came back.
Helen Paul, hi Helen, thanks for joining us.
Hi Helen. And yeah, I basically made that decision. There was a lot of us made that decision to actually, this is time to leave now. We've seen enough out there.
Was it sort of frightening enough to actually you know what, this is real. This is not just what's on the news.
Yeah, when you see action, and what I mean by action is when you see action.
When it's in your face.
Yeah, and you know, and you're like, 1 minute you can talk into your mucker like this, the next minute he's blown away.
Next minute, things are going over your head,
and you just all, you know, you just think, right, it's time. You know, in Afghanistan was more or less just starting off then. So it was like...
What sort of time was this? Well, how many sort of...
Well, I was in 2003 when we were Optelic free.
Oh yeah, things were getting quite warm then, right?
Yeah, so Afghanistan was more or less just starting off. So we just thought ourselves,
this
you know what?
Blair was sort of weapons of mass destruction.
Yeah, he was all over the place.
Pointing fingers everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just the right time to get out, I think. You know. But I didn't really suffer PTSD from that straight away. You know.
Yeah, because I would imagine, and correct me if I'm wrong, PTSD is not something that affects everyone the same way.
No,
some people
not.
can have it the same second something goes wrong.
Yeah.
Like their vehicle blows up and instantly they're suffering.
It can just trigger instantly.
Or 6 months later you can have flashbacks, or it's quite a varied, yet quite a difficult thing to deal with.
Yeah,
right?
definitely, 100%. Yeah, you're in a different, complete frame mind, and you're in a different world.
So when you came back from it, how long were you still in the army for once you've returned?
So you sign off for the army and it's a year to get out. So you sign off on that day and it'll take... So say if I sign off today...
Oh, so there's no sort of like, okay, I want to go see you, here's 2 weeks notice?
Yeah, it's not like civilian life where, you know, you sign in, you've got a month's notice and then you can get another job, or you go on garden leave or whatever they call it, that weird thing.
Yeah, and gardening leaves the term now in Civvy Street mostly.
Something like that. But in the army that you have a year, and the reason you have a year is because obviously you have like a resettlement course.
Right.
And that resettlement course is civilians that will help you rewrite your CV, try and get you into some kind of line of work that you would like to go into. Don't do a lot because they don't get paid for it. So, you know, it's down to the individual. It's down to me to look for that work and get that interview and go from there, really.
Gotcha. So the army, and my own experience with the Royal Air Force, just through being an instructor with them, is that all the RAF places I've ever been to, they and this is only a recent thing. It's not been like 10 years ago. It was just a case of no one knew.
Yeah.
You wanted out, okay, off you go. Nowadays there seems to be a lot more proactive behaviour from the armed forces in terms of helping people to reintegrate. I think is the term they're using now. Reintegrate back into Civvy Street.
Yeah. They've booked their ideas up massively now, and they've had to, you know.
But you can't walk down any corridor now in an RAF station without seeing these posters everywhere.
Yeah.
Leaving soon, contact us for help.
Yeah.
When you were in the army, and when you decided, right, okay, you know what, this is time for me to move on.
Yeah.
From the day you signed your thing to say, right, I'm signing out in a year, how much help did they offer you?
Not a lot. You know, you have to do your homework. You have
Obviously,
to do it
if
yourself.
the MOD are watching this now, we're going to be very careful what we say because we don't want the men in black turning up at the door.
No, of course not. No. Yeah, to a certain degree, yeah, you've got help, but you've got to do it yourself. You know what I mean? They're not going to do it for you. At the end of the day, we're adults. You know, we've got a brain, kind of.
They don't treat like that when you go in, though.
No.
You don't have a brain. You're not. You do as you're told.
Yeah, do as you're told. Get on with it.
Yeah.
You know.
But what sort of for anyone in the armed services now watching this?
Yeah.
What sort of level of so there's no handhold, there's no babysitting, right?
No, you know, you're not wrapped in cotton wool.
You know, not after all the stuff you've been through already.
No.
But do they say, is it a case of here's a leaflet, thanks, or is there any sort of coaching and mentoring, or?
There is. They call them. I wouldn't say a business coach as such, but it's that kind of thing. Now I've been out.
Is that like a reintegration sort?
Yeah,
of
I've been out like 11, 12 years now. So the system might have changed massive, you know, and it needed to change, you know, drastically. So hopefully that's in place now. But yeah, when I came out, it was just literally like, well, let's get your CV done. Once you've done your CV, we'll get you contact for that job and where you're going to live and stuff like that. And then you just go out there and get your interviews. Literally, my first interview, I got the job straight away.
Happy days.
Yeah.
Well, I can see why.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was, yeah, you're just like, whoa, does this work? Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I can imagine it's very, because it's such a different lifestyle as well, where you're not switched on 24 hours a day.
No.
You mean I actually get to switch off at 5:30? Wow.
Yeah, I mean, you don't get the workforce, you know what I mean? You just don't understand it. And like I said, that trust thing and belonging, you know? It was just...
Stefan. Hi, Stefan. Stefan's a hospitality expert up in Scotland.
All right, hi, Stefan.
He's a wonderful chap.
Yeah, so you don't... it was just a weird atmosphere to go into that and find that, you know, everyone is against you. You know, everyone is working on their own individually, and you're like, you know, you just don't...
It's definitely a very different culture, isn't it? From
Yeah.
military, and I still see this now.
Yeah. Basically, you had a bunch of people, like headless chickens, running around the company. Nobody knew what they were doing. Everyone was just like interfering with her job and interfering with his job and everything else. And I was just like, wow.
It's the exact opposite of what the army is, isn't it?
And it comes back to that trust thing, you know what I mean? Because you've been in a unit, you know, you've been in the elite, you've trained at the elite level.
Well, in the army, you can, and I think the same is true in any armed services.
Yeah.
Same in the RAF as well. You can walk up to someone else in the same service or another service as you.
Yeah.
And you can literally shake their hand and know that, right, let's get on with this. And you can trust them from the second you meet them.
Exactly, yeah.
You've probably got more trust in the person you've just met before you even know their name.
Yeah.
Than you have out in Civvy Street. Because in Civvy Street, like you say, everyone is...
Well, everyone's trained on the same level in military terms, you know what I mean? So, for instance, when we were on the reconnaissance patrol,
as well.
Yeah, you know, we worked with 2 paras, there was 2 Marines, one from the Army Air Corps, and one for the Intelligence Corps. And it was me and there was a Scots Guard, so Coldstream Guard, Scots Guard. And I've never known them, we've never worked together in our lives. But we got the task at hand, we went off and done it. I know what he's going to do, he's going to back me up, I'm going to back him up. We're trained at the same level, never met each other. You know, and you've gone into civilian life and you're like, what are you doing? Yeah,
you walk into a room full of 6 people you've got to do something with and it's chaos.
You know, and this person's like, don't talk to this person, don't say anything to this because they ask the management and you're like, really?
The politics of Civvy Street take over and it's...
And that's actually soldier destroying. That's what destroyed me even more. You know, and probably more why my PTSD came on board, really, because of that reason.
Yeah, it can be quite an odd concept to deal with. Like I say, I've seen both sides of it.
Yeah.
I've met a lot of people in the RAF, and obviously being in Civvy Street myself, you see both sides of it, and both sides of it are really different.
Yeah.
It's like 2 different worlds.
Completely.
One's like watching a movie of an ideal world.
Yeah.
And the other one is real life.
Yeah.
Civvy Street, real life.
It's like you come out at this higher level, and you know you've been this kind of not hero, but you know you might call it a hero, but you know you're trained at the highest level, and you've come in, so you think that you're going to carry on that level in the civilian world, into a job, and you don't. You know, you're right down the bottom of the ladder, and you don't get that. You're like, well, wait a minute.
Well, yeah, because your mentality and your behaviour is still up here.
Yeah, exactly.
And everyone around you is down here.
Yeah.
And you're like, what are these muppets
now,
doing?
you might not start at the bottom of the ladder. You might be 2 runs up.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean. But you know, it's just...
I can imagine you walk into many workplaces and you sort of think, You lot are idiots. What are you doing?
Well, yeah, you know.
You're worrying about things that really don't count for
You've
anything.
got people working there that don't even know what the company does. You're like, hello.
I've met people like that, yeah.
You know, you're just like,
Yeah.
you know, just headless chickens running around and everything.
Yeah. Well, many years ago when I used to work for National Car Parks,
Yeah.
in their IT department,
Yeah.
it was amazing the amount of people that worked for that company that had they very little clue what they were supposed to be doing,
Right.
let alone those around it. And it was very much like what you're saying.
Mm.
You know, in a company of 7,500 people,
Yeah.
it was quite alarming how many people really didn't know what they were doing.
Yeah. It's,
or they were so busy and wrapped up in office politics
Yeah.
and the who said what and she said this and they said, it's like, just get on with your job and work together. What's wrong with you?
yeah.
And yet you look at the military side of it and everyone's on the same page. There's
Yeah.
this politics thing, it does exist,
To a certain level, yeah.
but only on outside of working hours.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, once you've got your uniform on and you're on,
That's it, you switched on. Yeah.
you're a different person,
Yeah.
and it's
As soon as you come out of uniform, that's it, you switched off.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then you can go back to ranting and bitching
Yeah,
about everyone
it's
and
me
calling
saying
each other
that.
names and
Yeah,
stuff.
exactly, yeah.
It's a very different world. Office politics. Yeah, office politics are a very real thing in Civvy Street.
Yeah.
But I think in Military Street, it's more family politics.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
families bitching and moaning about each other behind their husband's back or wives' backs or whatever.
Nice coffee, Richard.
You're welcome, mate.
Yeah. I do like a good
A
cup.
few more of those and he won't be sleeping tonight.
Well, I do love a Costa.
You can go clean the windows again. Midnight. What's that noise? Oh, it's the
Yeah.
window cleaner at
Yeah.
midnight. Does this boil down to leadership and training? I think you've got a good point there. I think it does boil down to leadership and training.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
No one in Civvy Street ever has the kind of training that you've had.
No, and that's, I think, from coming from the military, and I might be prejudiced here, but, you know.
No, prejudice. Gareth, army person, prejudice? No.
But yeah, a lack of leadership, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And something probably we'll talk on a little bit later is so for instance, I've used my military into my business, and that's one of the elements. You know, you get this saying, "Oh, you're only good as your last job."
Nah, that's rubbish.
Bullshit.
I don't think.
You know what I mean?
Can we bleep that bit out?
Well, it is. You know, you're only good as your last job. What happens if your last job was shit? If you know what I mean?
Yeah, the last job was rubbish and you left because it wasn't going anywhere.
So that mentality is wrong in my eyes.
No, it is. I agree.
So in the military, you have this theory where you always have a debrief.
Yeah.
You always have a debrief, even though that job went absolutely perfectly well and everything went smooth and the task ahead got completed. You still have a debrief.
Well, it's important to make sure
Yes.
that everyone understood
So
why it went well.
everyone that in team can say, how can we improve that even though it went well? So I've still got that mentality and I've put that into me. So I've knocked that. Oh, you're only good as your
Robin
last
will
job.
probably be proud to hear that because he's very big on
Yeah,
processes.
you're only
and
good as your last job. I've knocked that in the head,
stuff.
and I've brought that into me. So when I do the windows, I think to myself, when I get into my fan to my next job, yeah, customer was really happy, over the moon. She's going to recommend me, you know, really good window cleaner and everything else. How could I improve? How could I do that different? Maybe if I'd done that, maybe if I'd done this way. You know,
Even when you know you've done it perfectly.
even when you know
though,
we're doing it perfect, yeah. So you're
that's
always
that mentality, isn't it?
it's that mentality. So you're always learning, you're always growing. You know what I mean? You're always trying to
Constant
improve.
self-evaluation.
Where if I just had the attitude, oh, I'm already good as the last job.
Yeah.
Well, technically, you're not.
Well, I mean,
You know.
one of the reasons Gareth's sitting here is because in the last 5 years since we relocated office to West Wickham, we've had almost as many window cleaners come to clean the office windows and
Yeah.
take care of stuff. And to be frank, they were all rubbish.
Yeah.
And they were of the exact opposite of what you've been describing.
Yeah.
They would turn up, bish bash bosh and gone.
Yeah.
And if you dare say anything to them, God help you.
Yeah.
One of them I did actually say, look, can you go and get all the green gunk off the windowsill? And I got a 10-minute rant and a mouthful. And I was like, if you were working for me right now, you would be out of a job.
Yeah.
I said, if one of my guys talked to me like that, it'd be time to say bye-bye.
Yeah.
Because if you're not, like you said, if you're not evaluating what you're doing, saying, well, actually, you know what?
Yeah.
Yeah, I should have probably taken care of that.
Yeah, definitely.
And it is the military mentality of, even when something went well,
Mm-hmm.
and this is going back to what Stefan was saying about the leadership as well,
Yeah.
is it's really important to make sure that everyone understood that it went perfectly and why.
Yeah.
And no one in Civvy Street really does that. You don't.
No, you say meetings for meetings, but brief the team, debrief the team.
Yeah.
Simple 2 tasks.
It's all well and good telling people what you want them to go and do, but afterwards,
Yes.
if you don't tell them that was a great job, it went well because you did this, you did that, and you did that, and
Yeah.
it's perfect.
Yeah.
Then they're left
And
just hanging, aren't they?
how could we improve? Oh, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll put that in.
Haley
together.
says it's all about. I do the same as part of my job, and it's end-to-end evaluation. It's taking pride. Yeah. Taking pride in the job, and I think that's a really good way of putting it. Yeah. End-to-end evaluation. That's quite a good word for it.
Yeah, definitely.
It's certainly a very modern. Is that a new modern office speak, Haley?
Must be.
I've not heard that one before.
Office talk.
End-to-end evaluation. It almost sounds like something your doctor's going to do. Lay down. End-to-end evaluation. So what Gareth's saying is about that constant mentality of evaluating what you're doing and actually afterwards reflecting on what you've done.
Yeah,
it's quite an important thing. And
of course it is. Yeah.
And it's 100% critical for anyone who's running a business.
Yeah. Especially if you want to strive it forward. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, exactly. So when you were on your way out of the army, we veered right off that subject.
Yeah,
quite wildly, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
You see how difficult this is to stay on track.
Stay on track.
So going back to your leaving, so you said they were giving you help writing your CV.
Yeah.
Did they give you any offers of? And I know you said this was sort of about 12 years ago, so things are a bit different now. But,
yeah.
And if any of you are in the military or about to leave and have got any updated information, share it in the comments below. Tell us all what it's all like now.
Yeah, it might be completely changed. I wouldn't have a clue now. You know.
But did they offer you any training courses, or to say, hey, you know what? Here's a list of stuff that you can retrain in. Would you like to go and do any of that?
Well, yes, to a certain degree. Yes, you've got the basic. Like, for instance, the technology now, even 12 years ago, was slowly coming into...
We're just using calculators 12 years ago.
Yeah, it was slowly coming in. We still had the big box computers, you know what I mean?
Yeah, an Xbox used to be this big.
Yeah, you know. So, yeah, it was just initiative, like, basic skills, you know, computer skills and stuff like that.
Well, it's good that they were offering you that at the time.
And very, very basic. You know, it depends what field you were going to go into in civilian life and what kind of business you were going to go into, you know.
Susan says, and caring about your job and customers and clients. Yeah, that's if you, I think that goes hand in hand with what Haley's saying.
Yeah.
If you care about your customers and your clients, you will evaluate everything you do.
Of course you do. Yeah.
Sort of one follows the other.
Tell you're passionate about your job, innit? And what you do in your job and how.
Yeah, and if you didn't care about them, you wouldn't evaluate anything you did.
No. Some people, you know, I've learned a lot.
Like the last 4 window cleaners I've had.
I've learned a lot in business very rapidly and very quickly. You know, you kind of suss it straight away.
Yeah, it's a rapid learning game, isn't it?
Very, and you have to learn pretty quick, and you can suss it out if you've got the right set of mind.
So, aside from the training that they offered you when you were sort of on your way out the door, as it were, was this a subject that you and your fellow soldiers, the right term?
Yeah.
Was this something that you talked about and had discussions with your fellow soldiers quite often during that sort of transition period of life? Did you sort of say, "Hey guys, I've signed out. I'm out of it in 12 months."
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, you would talk about it, you know, stuff like that.
And what sort of things were sort of banded around? Because
some people will say, "Oh yeah, I'm going to go into this and I'm going to do that." You know what I mean?
Were there many people looking to start their own business? When they came out, or just
not
go and
really,
get a job?
No. It was just literally get a job, you know, get into a job and get the money in, that kind of stuff. And like you say, it's a whole new world because you have to start paying for stuff. Wherever in the army, everything's kind of done for you in a way. So if you're skint and you've got no money, you've still got 3 meals a day.
Yeah, and a roof over your head.
Yeah, and a roof over your head, free TV license. You know, you've got a nice double bed.
That was a bit of a shock when you came out of the army. I got paid for TV license.
Yeah, and I was like, I've got to buy me own food, put it in the fridge. Really?
Yeah, I've got to go shopping. What?
Yeah,
there isn't someone to do that.
Only bought beers. You know what I mean? You know, so yeah, it's a whole new wow.
Even some of the basic life skills that a lot of people don't have to do in the armed forces can be a bit of an.
Like we can cook, we get trained and all that kind of stuff. So that wasn't an issue, but it was just an issue like going out buying it.
Yeah, going to a supermarket
where you had chefs that cooked it for you.
Yeah.
You know?
So it's quite a transition, isn't it? So, at what point? So you say you left the army 12 to 13.
About that, yeah. I can't remember.
How long ago did you think about starting your own business, or was that something you were thinking about before you left?
Well, I've always thought about it. Always been in the back of mind. Of course, it's your dream. Like, I'd love to have my own business. You know what I mean? Kind of your own boss type of thing. So. Yeah, it's always been in the back of my mind, you know. It was only, about a year ago, I decided, going down that route, this is the kind of business that I would like, the winter cleaning. and go from there. Really,
Happy days. So you didn't start your own business straight away when you left?
You're kind of like in and out of jobs. It's really hard to find your feet. Yeah, and it always says. Every ex-squaddy would say it always takes roughly about 10 to 11 years to find your feet in Civvy Street to you start settling down.
Yeah.
You're in and out of jobs because you don't understand their mentality of workplaces and stuff like that, you know what I mean?
The army team mentality has obviously given Gareth such good foundations to succeed in life, which is amazing. He has indeed.
Yeah.
He is an amazing chap to be around. And inspiring to listen to. Yeah, I would hope so. And so and I think as well, from what that point you've just made is, when you come out of the army, would you say it's almost like you're playing, like the average kid when they leave school at 16 spends probably 10 years working out what they want to do?
Yeah.
So by the time they're age of 30, they're probably then in the job they want to be in and starting to learn.
Well, yeah, because when I was at school, I was always in detention. I was always in trouble. You know what I mean? That's why
you wouldn't mistake him for a troublemaker, would you?
That's why I joined the army.
School troublemaker. Give him a gun and send him out of somewhere to shoot at stuff.
But I think when you leave school, that's when you actually learn.
That's when the learning.
That's when you develop. That's when you learn. School's just the basics.
It's like your driving test, isn't it? You pass your test.
Yeah.
Then you start learning to drive.
Then you start learning to drive. Yeah. I just kind of messed around, you know what I mean, at school and
He's
stuff
a bit
like
of a lad, isn't he? A bit of a troublemaker, this one.
And it's funny enough because, like, majority of people that I know now through, like, social media, Facebook, who I went to school with, was like,
were they all the straight-laced ones who would never get in trouble?
Yeah, never get in trouble. Used to do always well at school and everything else. They've got really good jobs and that. But now I look at them. Your phone's ringing.
I know, right?
And now I look at them and I think it's turned the other way. All the people that done really rubbish at school have like succeeded more in life than the other ones. It's kind of reversed. It's really random and really weird.
It is bizarre, isn't it? Because a lot of the people I went to school with, I was always one of three that was sort of a bit geeky.
Right.
So there were sort of three of us that sort of hung around together, and because we.
Yeah, but you like computers, so you are geeky.
It was like what's that TV show where the four of them hang around and they bought that little yellow car.
Oh, the In-Betweeners.
The In-Betweeners. It almost
so you were Will. You were Will.
It almost felt a little bit like, seriously, stop, go away. No caller ID.
So did you have a briefcase when you went to school?
No. I wanted one though.
I bet you did.
I wanted one.
Oh, you didn't?
I looked for the Argos catalogue back then when it existed. I was like, briefcase. And I was like, no, don't do that. I'd really get killed at school.
Yeah, you will really get bullied.
But all the kids I went to school with, there was like two sides to it. There was the kids who misbehaved constantly.
Yeah.
And which I think probably most of them now have probably got prison criminal records and stuff.
Yeah.
And then there was the straight-laced ones who actually now, when you see what they're getting up to, went the opposite direction that you thought they would.
Yeah.
So, seriously? No, we're not. No caller ID. We're not talking to you. Go away. If you're not going to show your number, then you don't really need to be spoken to.
No.
Unless it's someone on the show going, your audio's gone down again. Like, what?
Oh, no.
Oops. Yeah, I tried to tell you 5 times, but you wouldn't answer your phone. But yeah, so going back to the school thing, where kids leave school at say 16, 17 and spend sort of 10 years figuring themselves out.
Yeah.
Would you say that coming out of the army is a similar process, but you're starting sort of 10 years down?
Yeah. You need to switch it off.
I know, it's going to... Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, okay, bye-bye. Huh. Gotta love the haters, huh? At least, you know... It's always nice to know that if there's people out there that are still watching.
Right.
That person can say whatever they like about someone, but I just believe in what I see.
Yeah.
And if I see it for my own eyes, that's all I need to see.
Right, there you go.
So I won't tell you what he said.
Right.
It wasn't very nice. But there are people out there who get a bit jealous. If they want to watch and then that's fine. You know.
That's it.
A hater is still an audience member, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So going back to the whole school thing.
Yeah.
And I'll probably cover this 2 or 3 times. I know Haley says jealousy. Yeah, exactly. You know, for someone to phone up right there and then and say something horrible about the person you're sitting with, it's like, well,
that's it.
I know what I've seen.
Yeah.
I've seen more than enough of what Gareth does and listened to the things he talks about
Yeah.
and through my own experience in dealing with the military as well, and just paying to have services done.
Yeah.
Like I said, if someone doesn't want to share their phone number, they don't deserve to be spoken to.
No.
If they've got nothing important to say.
Exactly.
If they did, they would be open and honest about it.
Exactly.
So thanks for calling in anyway. That was really appreciated.
Yeah, we
and
enjoyed that.
And I think it says more about you than it does about us.
Yeah.
When you're going to literally try and phone up and say those sort of things. But thanks anyway. It's not a problem. And so when people come out of school and they sort of take that sort of 10, 12 year period to figure out their own life.
Yes.
Did you feel like when you left the army that you were sort of doing that whole sort of, right now I need to figure out who I am and what I want to do?
That kind of process, yeah. Like literally find your feet, get a place to live, and go from there for workplace.
The sort of thing that most 16-year-olds and 17-year-olds are coping with. You were doing.
Well, yeah, but like nowadays it's all changed, isn't it? They live home, till their 20s.
Don't move out until they're 40 now, mate. It's not 20 anymore. 20 is the new 40 if you're a teenager.
It is, yeah.
If you've got kids out there now who's still at home, you probably know what I'm talking about. They're probably in their late 30s and they're still living with you. Still getting you to buy all the shopping and groceries and going out partying and saving up their own money.
Yeah.
So moving on, obviously, I don't want to drag this out too long. So tell us a little bit about what you do and the process you went through to get your business started. What help did you get?
So the help I got is I went to.
Well, what do you do first? Tell them what you do.
Well, I'm a window cleaner. So I'm a window cleaner on reach and wash system, and I do all the additional methods as well, but mainly on the reach and wash system, on the pole system with the purified water. So that's the kind of like role I do, domestic and commercial.
Happy days.
That was a pretty good pitch, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, it's a pretty well explained, really.
Yeah. So that's basically what I do. So I went to get help from the Royal British Legion, and said, is there something in the system that helps ex-forces set up in business? And they put me in touch with a company called the Ex-Forces Enterprise,
cool.
Which is kind of like a same kind of setup. But they mainly deal with like businesses from the armed forces and stuff. We put a business plan together, back and forward on email, changing it and stuff like that. Then they go to the parties who kind of funded the business, and get a business loan from them. And that's kind of it, really. You get a little bit of support, but you don't get a lot, if you know what I mean. So
how did you find out that you could even go to the Royal British Legion to ask for help? And was that a year ago or a couple of years ago?
No, that was literally, it'd be about 10 months ago now.
Oh.
So I've only been really set up on my own, for 10 months. Yeah.
Okay. So is there a time limit between leaving the armed forces and going to them and saying, hey, look,
no, not really. No. So literally, if you're coming out of the armed forces, you can.
Because if anyone's watching this now, they might have left the armed forces and say in the last 5 to 10 years.
Yeah,
and they might be thinking, well, it's too long now, no one's going to help me.
No, you can literally, I was speaking to a guy the other day, and like he's literally been in business for a while. He didn't go to the British Legion to set up his business, but he needed the extra funding to go to that next level of his business. So he went to the British Legion.
So he already had a business that was running.
Yeah, and he went to get extra help to fund his business so he can employ a man and employ a van and everything else. So that system's like massively in place. So if you're leaving the armed forces and you're thinking about setting up, then go for it.
Or even if someone's left in the last 10 years and still maybe doesn't know what they want to do with themselves.
They don't know what to do themselves, and they might find it hard working in the workplace. They find it difficult to adjust and adapt.
I can imagine as well that the thought of starting your own business, I remember back 20 years ago when I started my company, the thought of starting your own business was quite frightening.
Of course it is,
And you didn't know where to look, turn, ask for help or anything.
No.
Which is one of the reasons why I started this show.
Yeah.
To help people, hopefully, who are thinking about the same thing,
try
and figure it all out.
Yeah. Literally when I started, I didn't have a clue about business. I still don't, really.
A lot of people don't.
No, I'm still learning. Everything's a learning process. I've been in business 5 minutes.
Yeah. Well, most people know their trade,
Yeah.
But all the other hats that you need to wear as a business owner is just no idea.
Yeah. And you're learning every day about your business. You're learning about a day about, oh, I didn't know you could do that. That's good. You know what I mean? So I think if you're going to set up, like, definitely go for it. You know, 100%. Take that risk. You've taken risk before.
Well, yeah. Anyone in the military knows and understands risks, right?
Yeah, you've gone through fear. You know what I mean? You've literally come across fear all the time of the situations you've been in.
Well, it's the kind of risk, and I apologise for Susan's going to kill me, jumping all over what you're saying.
Terrible, Richard.
It's the kind of risk where the only thing you've really got to fear now is that it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And that's really not that frightening, is it?
No.
Try it, doesn't work. And
it's not failing. It's just back at the bottom of the ladder. Learn from it. Regrow.
Yeah, or like I say to people sometimes, you haven't failed. You've just found a way it didn't work.
Yeah.
And then you try again.
Yeah, exactly.
So if any of you have left the military in the last 5 to 10 years and you are thinking of starting your own business, it's not too late to go and ask for help.
No,
you can approach the Royal British Legion for help, and they will point you in the right direction and give you all the advice and help you need. Do they give financial support?
To a certain degree, yeah. To a certain degree. Obviously, I've still got to pay back the business loan.
Okay, so they give you a business loan.
So they give you a business loan, regarding of what you need, equipment-wise or whatever.
But you have to go to them with a business plan and say, here's what
you get that kind of help and a bit of guidance from that to a certain degree.
Yeah.
So you get all that, you know.
Cool.
But yeah, when you come out, like, when you've got your business, that's it. It's just a matter of getting out there.
Just getting on with it.
Getting on with it. Cracking on, as I say.
Did the Royal British Legion put you in touch with anyone else that could help you? Because I'd imagine it's all well and good saying, well, here's my business plan, can I have some money, please? And I'll pay you back in whatever payment terms. But what about other aspects that a business might need help with that maybe you didn't even realise at the time that you sort of learnt along the process?
Well, I kind of just fell on my feet and just thought, right, this is what I've got to do. You know, they don't really guide you in the sense, because they haven't got the resources for that. And I kind of get, they haven't got a business centre.
Yeah.
You know, they're literally on volunteers, majority of them. So I kind of get it in the way. If they're going to do that, they're going to have to resource it and, you know, put a lot of funding into it.
So things like for instance, your van and all your window cleaning.
Yeah.
Was that something you had to research yourself and look into? What do I get?
That was part of my business plan. I had to research for that, you know, got the best prices and stuff. You know, and go from there, really.
Did you have any help or guidance from anyone else that they might have put you in touch with in how to do that?
Not really, no. It's just kind of, because I was window cleaning beforehand, you know, I kind of got an idea of
you've done this.
Yeah, so what suppliers...
You were doing it before.
Yeah, so what kind of suppliers I need to go to and stuff, and, you know, asking them questions about the equipment and stuff like that. And even, like, because obviously you're going to research that role, you know, massively.
You'd hope so.
Yeah, massively. So you kind of get a feel of other window cleaners and where they get their equipment from and stuff.
So yeah, Hayley says, everyone has a right to start their own business regardless of competition and haters. Indeed they do, Hayley.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm sure Gareth's met a lot of people through networking as well, where every now and then you can easily tell the ones who are just talking out of their backsides.
Yeah.
You know, either help people and make everyone better, or just shut up and go away.
Yeah, exactly.
No one really wants to listen to or be around anyone like that.
Nah, that's it. It's concentrate on yourself, isn't it?
Yeah, you know, do a good job. Help everyone else do a good job.
Yeah. And I concentrate on my business. I'm not interested in my competitors.
And everyone gets
along. Yeah.
You know.
I don't look at my competitors. I'm not interested in them. I'm interested in my business.
Exactly.
And the way I want to go.
Yeah, I mean, we've, you know, as a web hosting company, we've got tons of competitors.
Yeah, exactly.
Who've got millions.
It's in every trade, in it.
Millions of pounds worth of advertising, but we don't sit here slagging them off.
No, and I think when you take interest in somebody else's company and work, it just takes the element away from yourself. So your business is going to fail massively. Yeah. Because all you're interested in is what that person's doing and what this person's doing. Yeah. You know, and you're taking it away, like you say, from your business.
Well, exactly. So it obviously shows that he's doing something right. If someone's willing to phone up and try and hate on him live, it's like he's doing something right. So striving forward, good for Gareth. What was going about? He does indeed. Do you know Hayley by any chance?
Oh, that's my girlfriend.
He's got a plant in the audience.
That's it. There you go.
So one of the things I wanted to also cover, because I'm aware of the time as well, we've been going for 50 minutes now, and a lot of people... It does fly, doesn't it?
Bedtime, innit?
It does fly. Yeah. I did tell you that it goes quick.
It is, doesn't it? Yeah.
Half an hour is...
There's so much to talk about as well.
You can't keep it in half an hour. Yeah. So one of the things that I wanted to also cover as well is... if you could give someone any advice now that's leaving the forces or has left the forces and wants to start their own business, what 5 things would you say, if you could say, right, you know what, do these 5 things, don't let these 5 things, just don't avoid them, get them done. Right. What sort of 5 top tips would you give someone who has been in the forces and is trying to reintegrate and maybe start their own business? I
think like I said earlier, take that risk. Mm-hmm. So there's the risk. Don't worry about if you think you're going to fail. I literally set up with no safety net. So I had to go out there and find the work, which I'm still doing, which is good. The work's
we all do every day, don't we?
Yeah. So just keep on moving forward like
top
that.
Top tip time. Susan loves top tip. Susan loves top tip. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I think the most thing is, if you're coming out of the armed forces and literally put your military element into your business. So I've only been in business 10 months, and I hit massively reached a point a couple of months ago where I didn't want to carry on. I just thought, you know what, it's too much. I've got this to pay, that to pay. What's coming in is literally going straight out, or it's it's going out faster than it's coming in. Yeah. And I just thought, I've just had enough. I'm going to go back to the Legion and just say, look. I'll sell everything, you can have your money back, type of thing. And then because I do this networking, business networking, which helps, you know what I mean? And I think it's really important to do that. So that's another tip I would say to them, when you come out and you want to start off your own network, business networking. And it came to a point with me where I was literally networking more than I was actually concentrating.
You're doing more networking than work.
Well, yeah, because you're thinking that's the way forward. I've got to get around and everything else. So you kind of narrow down and you find your feet where it suits. And one suits for me, business network international suits for me perfectly. And Bromley Business Network, and that suits for me as well. So I've narrowed it down to 2.
Yeah, you try them all and find which ones you like and don't
you've
like.
Got to, yeah, you've got to. So that's another tip. Definitely.
So business, get yourself. So don't be afraid to take a risk.
Yeah, take the risk.
Don't be scared of that failure.
Forget the faillia.
Get yourself out. But that's 2, not 3. You cheat yourself.
Get in touch with the British Legion or other charities that can help. SAFA's out there. Yeah. Even Combat Stress will help you.
So don't be afraid to take the risk. Get yourself out on business networking in your local community.
Yeah.
Get in touch with the Royal British Legion.
Yeah.
And ask them for advice and help.
Yeah.
Is there anyone else that helped you during your startup phase?
In what sense?
Any other businesses or anything that have said, hey, you know what, we've got a deal for startups, or anything out there that people might not think to?
Not really. Since I've joined networking, then yes, I've met other business owners, and they have schemes, to help start up businesses and stuff like that.
Because I know you mentioned that there's a place around here in Beckenham called Desk Team.
Yeah, Desk Team. Yeah. They've
quite nice offices up in Beckenham, aren't they?
Yeah.
What was it they've done for you?
So they do a setup and small startup businesses for office. You can put your office furniture in there and stuff, and you can set it all up and off you go.
John Pawson, yay, happy.
Hi John.
Hi John.
Hi John.
Nice to see another new name.
Yeah, lovely. It's great.
So Desk Team in Beckenham have helped you as well.
Sharon there, she'll look after you if you're setting up your own business, or even if you've been in business for years, you know what I mean?
Is that because she likes swimming when you're cleaning the windows?
Well,
you've got to be suspicious,
Yeah. But yeah, fantastic.
So it's worth getting, so tip number 4 would be maybe get in touch with your local business centres.
Yes.
Or office spaces and find out if they've got any deals.
Yeah.
Because it probably came as a shock when they said to you, hey, you can have some space for a bit.
Yeah. I was like, wow, thank you. And
it's not cheap either, is it?
No. And it is a shock, because you're like, oh wow, there's actually some nice people out there.
Yeah. Finally, someone nice who isn't trying to screw me out of something.
And that's why I think networking helps massively.
Indeed.
Being nice helps massively.
Yeah.
And then obviously the 5th one is put your military element into your business. Have that strive forward. You know what I mean? Have that positive attitude. Forget your competitors. You know what I mean? Forget what they're doing. I don't care if there's 10 in the street. You know what I mean? You're doing that one.
Yeah,
that's it.
on that. I mean, I would say when I looked up Gareth's company name online, it did bring up quite an exhaustive list of companies. All if you look for window cleaners in Bromley, Beckenham, Croydon, or wherever, the list is enormous.
Of course it is, and I suppose it's like
it's a very crowded workplace that you're in. Isn't it?
And I see window cleaners every day. You know, I could be cleaning
probably
next
cross
door.
paths with each other.
Yeah, cross paths. Or if I'm doing the shops in the front on the high street in the morning, you know, some chatty, some are polite and nice. You know what I mean? And
do you ever get many that are like, oh, fuck, you're another window cleaner?
Some people just keep themselves to themselves.
Trying to kick your ladder over while you're working.
I think like when I started off, and I'd done a lot of research into window cleaners. You know what I mean? Like I looked at them and I thought, oh, I'd love to be at that stage, and I'd probably go beyond that stage eventually. But now they look at me and they're copying me what I do. So
Happy
there you go.
Something's working, right?
Yeah.
So if you could give someone, so that's the positives, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
If you could give someone some advice on don't do's, because we always concentrate on top 10s, top 5s. Here's the must do's. Make sure you don't forget this.
Yeah.
If you could give someone some advice on things they definitely shouldn't do,
right,
in starting a business, especially from a military background.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have a different mindset being from a military background.
Yeah.
And this is where this focuses on the military side of today's show. What tips would you give someone in terms of try and make sure you don't do this because that doesn't go down well in Civvy Street, or don't do that because it doesn't work in business? Is there anything you can think of that you would say?
I think don't rush into it. You know, take it in your stride. Don't chase the money.
Go Desk Team. Oh, is John from Desk Team maybe?
He's part of the Desk Team. Yeah.
Happy days. Did you put an advert up in Desk Team's office? Watch tonight.
Yeah, watch tonight.
They're all sitting around the corner in Desk Team watching the show on a big screen.
Yeah, big Diet Cokes there and everything. Yeah. I think just trust the process. Just trust the process and you know, go for it. Believe in your business. That's the main thing. And even though that sounds a bit
corny,
yeah, but it's very powerful words.
Yeah. Believe
in your business and believe in yourself.
Yeah.
You're going to get people in the business that, like I say, you know, you're going to get that one that, oh, you should do it this, you should do that, why are you doing it this, why are you doing like that? Forget them. You know, I'm not interested in them. I'm better than them.
You've got to put those people to one side and say, well, there's a special place for people like that.
Yeah, and just drive your business forward. But get help. You know, join a networking group, find your feet in the networking group, and go from there. And there's people in that group that have actually been in that situation. They've been in my situation and say, you're not the only one. I'm like, wow. Because you think you're the only one. Yeah. You know what I mean? So don't think that. That's another tip. Don't think you're the only one that's going through that process in business. You're not. Yeah. There's like loads of people. And when you talk about, when I go to like B&I in the mornings, they're like, don't worry, Gareth, we've been there. Yeah. I'm like, wow, really?
Been there, done
They're like, yeah, don't worry.
And I bet it's the same as well.
Stick at it. Go for it.
For the subject we're covering next week of imposter syndrome, I bet everyone thinks that their fears, they probably think that they're the only one that's worried about it.
Yeah.
I'm the only one. No one else is panicking about this, and I'm the only one who's suffering. And
but if you talk about it to them, they can help you, and you're like, wow, thank you. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you're a bit taken back. You know, but they'll help you. You know.
Is there any sort of military or ex-military? What's the word I'm looking for? Social circles, if you like. Imposter syndrome is very real. Yeah, it is very real.
Yeah.
It's almost, dare I say this, for fear of upsetting people, it might be the Civvy Street equivalent of no, I don't want to say it actually because it doesn't sound right. It doesn't sound. It sounds wrong. I think you know what I was going to say.
Yeah.
But it's not even close.
Right.
It's a Civvy Street mental condition.
Yeah.
That any business owner would naturally suffer from.
Yeah.
Or anybody in a skilled role where you need to be up on a certain level.
Yes. Yeah.
But is there any sort of social circles, sort of ex-military social circles that you?
Well, there's groups on networking and stuff like that. You know, on Facebook and stuff like that. You know, ex-forces and business and stuff. There is, but they're dotted all over around the country and stuff. You know. So yeah, you can link into that. You know, and you've got advice from there and stuff like that.
So if anyone's got any questions for Gareth before we log off, because we've got obviously it's almost 9 o'clock now, and we want to make sure everyone can get off to bed without having to explain why they're so knackered tomorrow. If you've got any questions, either drop them in the comments below or pop them on the comments live before Gareth disappears. And one of the other things is that I noticed as well on a lot of your social media posts, you keep popping these little motivational things. What's all that about?
So it's very because
I'm not telling you off, by the way.
No.
Stop all this motivational nonsense. What are you like?
No, what I've done is
cheer people up. You will.
What I've done is when I hit that little bottom bit within my business, a couple of months back, I thought, and somebody said to me, look, carry on, you're a soldier, just keep going. I was like, great. Put your military into your business and you'll strive forward slowly. And I was like, that's a massive idea, And just the structure of it, of the discipline side of it and their methods, plan and preparation. I've come up with some framework and all that kind of stuff. And it's just how I've...
Robin will be rubbing his hands together right now. You're using all those long business words.
and it's just how I've expressed, like, what I've put into my business, that military side is how I express it in the motivation. Yeah? So it's not like the average motivation quote, if you know what I mean. Cause
not like it's straight off a poster off some business office.
No, let's face it. We all can say motivation quotes and everything else. Everyone can be motivated. We can all. You can pay me 120, and I can get on stage and talk a load of motivation to you. But have you actually...
Careful, someone might actually do that.
Yeah, well, there is people out there, you know what I mean? But have they actually come to a point... Have they been through life the hard way to a certain degree?
Where does that motivation come from? Is it from reading a book or is it from experience?
Have you started your business and you've got a massive safety net? Oh, it's raining today, I'm not going to go out. You're fine, you're comfortable, your rent's covered.
Yeah.
Or have you started your business with a little minimum of, like, nothing? Of a business loan, no safety net. And you have to go out there and get it.
Even when it's raining, you've got to go out
and you start off with 10 customers and you're like, oh, how am I going to do it? So it's kind of like expressing that to other businesses to kind of say, you know what? Yeah, that's just... And it works. I get comments like some days and just say, oh, thanks for that. That was a really good post. You know what I mean? I've just done this in my business. And it's all a learning curve, isn't it?
Yeah. As long as your motivation comes from the right place.
I've been in business like 5 minutes, you know what I mean? And people learn from myself. And I learn from people that have been in 10 years. And if I can express a little bit, they think, you know what, Gareth, that's a really good idea. And I look at their business and I think, you know what, I'm going to put that into my business slightly, but I'm going to change it and put it my way, you know what I mean? And put my element on it so it's not copying. And just work it and grow from that, So it's all like a learning curve.
Yeah, one of the things I like about Gareth as well is that it's quite refreshing to see someone who's so frank and honest about where they're at as a business. Yeah. When I first met him, he said, I've only been running my business for, 7 months?
Yeah, when I first did windows,
And I was like, oh, okay. I'm sure a lot of business owners might have been worried about saying that.
Yeah.
Because they'd be thinking, well, if I say I've been going 5 minutes, then they're not going to trust me.
Yes, yeah.
Or they try and make stuff up. And I've met people who do that.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And you can generally see straight through them and go, well, if you've been running your business for 10 years, like you say you have, why is that a mess?
It's that trust thing, and it's getting that message across on social media,
Yeah.
They get a story from me, they get to know me, and they think, you know what, I like this guy, I want him around the house, You don't know who you're going to get if you get a window cleaner around, you know his background, you don't know,
And he is very frank and honest about all of his flaws and weaknesses and the things he doesn't know and the things he does know and he's very good at.
Yeah.
So, no questions have come in so far, so I'll assume that everyone is absolutely delighted with everything we've said.
Yeah, well, it's been a great show.
Susan says thank you both for a great session and thank you, Gareth, for being so open and real. Yeah,
excellent.
Indeed.
Thank you, Susan.
It has been an absolute pleasure having Gareth with us today.
Yep.
Give us a thumbs up below. And how many people? 115 still. You miserable, you horrible sods. Hit that subscribe button, a lot of you. If you're watching without subscribing, shame on you.
Yeah.
We can't grow. We can't get more wonderful people like Gareth on the show if the show's not seen to be growing. And YouTube will look at our channel and go, yeah, you need to stop because it's not going in the right direction.
No.
So we want to grow and we want to do more of this sort of stuff for local businesses who really deserve it. So hit the subscribe, find people who can and want to get some advice, because we won't always be talking about business. Sometimes we'll be talking about IT stuff and website stuff.
Yeah.
We might even go over Gareth's website one day and give it a bit of a critique.
Well, there you go. I'll come back in a couple of months.
With a baseball bat, yeah?
I'll come back in 6 months and see how I've grown in business.
It'll come back with a baseball bat with a 6-inch nail. So what was you saying about my website again, Rich?
Yeah.
So I can't thank him enough for giving up his evening to come back, especially at the time of the morning that he starts work at. It's crazy. And hopefully we'll see him again sometime.
Definitely.
Maybe in a year's time we'll have him back and say, right, how's it going since we last saw you?
Yeah.
That would be awesome. And I can't thank you more than I can't even get the words out.
Well,
I haven't even opened the drink yet.
right.
I can't thank you enough for coming back and taking part in tonight's show and joining us all. It's been a lot of fun, and it's very enjoyable doing this. And we will see you all next Wednesday when we'll be talking about imposter syndrome. It's a very real subject, and it's something a lot of business owners suffer from. It can cause an awful lot of anxiety and stress for people.
Yeah.
So we'll be talking about that next week. Who we're going to have on the show, I'm not sure yet, because Robin made a bit of a boo-boo.
Oh, no.
So apparently he sent an email and a lot of money to a Nigerian prince somewhere, and they promised to get on a plane. And
Terrible.
Yeah.
It's all about that plan and preparation, isn't it?
Well, this is it.
This is it. Bad.
He's not ex-military, so
well,
what
there
can
you
you expect?
There you go.
So we'll see you all next Wednesday.
Yeah, thanks
same
for tuning
time,
in.
8 o'clock, and thank you all for joining us. And give us a thumbs up and a like, and share the crap out of this, and let it go far and wide to anyone in the military. And we'll see you all again next Wednesday.
Take care now.
Have a good evening. Wait,
Bye-bye.
Gareth. Wait.
Wow, sorry.
Say bye, Gareth.
Bye, everyone.
No,
bye.
say bye, Gareth.
Oh, right.
Say bye, Gareth.
Bye, Gareth.
There you go.
You're
See you
mad.
later, guys.
Bye.